Good morning. Good morning. Glad you're joining me today. Good morning. Oops. Wrong button. That's what happens when you're your own production engineer. It is what it is. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are here on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Hi, Instagram. I have this whole convoluted setup Instagram that requires me to be able to let you hear the music and see the lower thirds. And let's just say I haven't been together enough to do that. But I'm glad I can be with you. Hi. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I see you all from all over the place. And I'm glad you're here. I would ask you what you're drinking. Well, I should ask you what you're drinking. This is what I have this morning. Trying to do better. It's been a little bit of a crazy weekend. Have you ever had those weekends where you just start your Monday and you're like, oof, I got to fix what I did this weekend? This is one of those weekends. Had to speak in San Antonio. We drove. On the way back, we stopped at a restaurant called Barris in Waco. One of the girls that works for me and is on the team went to college in Waco. And she said, you ought to stop by this Italian restaurant, which I did. I did stop by the Italian restaurant. And whatever I got, I think it was called a spinach lasagna. It was wonderful. But all I got out of that meal was cheese. I was like, this cheese is so good. Oh, goodness. Okay, so I want to jump on this morning and talk to you a little bit about Detangling the Mess. And you know that there will be a story with it, but there will also be a principle as well. And so I'm glad that you're here to join me. In my hope and my prayer is that you are encouraged this morning and also very specifically challenged to do something. I really believe that my goal is to be as practical as I can be so that by the time I'm finished talking, you know exactly what it is that you can do to live your life well, maybe a little even better than you did yesterday or last week. Because listen, we only got this chance in this life to do this thing one time. And when it's done, it's done. We have no time to waste. We have we have no time to be dilly-dallying. And this is not to stress you out. It's to remind you that living intentionally is worth it because you want to live a life with little to no regrets. Okay, so I want to know what you ate this weekend. That's my question. And while you tell me what you ate this weekend that was like your favorite thing or your uh-oh thing or your hallelujah thing, however you want to describe that, tell me that in the comments. I've got some announcements for you. The first thing I want to tell you about is I see some of you already commenting that you are reading the 28-day prayer journey. I'm so grateful about that. We just wrapped up for those who pre-ordered a 4-week exclusive prayer room. It was fun to do that together. The good news is that even if you didn't pre-order, you can still, if you haven't yet grabbed the book, you can still grab it by going to crystalevanshurst.com/pray. And when you do that, while the bulk of the pre-orders are gone, you can still get audio prayers with your purchase. So if you want that, basically audio prayers is me reading prayers for you. So you can just listen and drive, listen and wash dishes, listen and whatever. So go to crystalevanshurst.com/pray. If you have gotten the book and you love it, I would love for you to go to Amazon and leave a book review. Some of you have already done that, and that is awesome. Thank you so much. The next thing I want to tell you about is the Inner Circle. Y'all, it's almost October, and that means that the Inner Circle will be opening up soon. Now, if you've ever gone to crystalevanshurst.com/inner circle, you'll see there's a $5 level there. And what that means is that whenever there is bonus episodes from my podcast, and then a little special thing here or there, then if you're part of the Inner Circle at that level, you get that. But there are other levels that remain closed when we do special things together. And we are wrapping up our 90-day journey right now. We closed all the other levels to do that as a group together so that we could focus on the women who are in there instead of all the technical things that go into opening and closing the group. And so that will be opening again October the 1st. It will be open from October the 1st to October the 11th. And the reason why you want to jump in there on October the 1st is because the levels have limits, meaning that if you decide you want to be at another level, they close quickly because they have limits. So mark it on your calendar, October the 1st. If you're already in the inner circle at that $5 level, well, here's the deal. As soon as it opens up, you'll be the first to know and you can jump levels quick. So here's the deal. Here's why you want to join the inner circle. Because we're going to spend the last 90 days preparing, the last 90 days of 2020, preparing for the first 90 days of 2021. And what does that mean? Well, in October, we're going to have a Together Fervent experience, and we'll be telling those who are on my email list about that super soon. So make sure you're on my email list, crystalevanshurst.com. And so if you haven't bought your ticket yet, then that's great because you'll get a special discount. You'll get our group discount. And then the second thing is if you have bought your ticket yet, or if you are already a part of the inner circle, awesome. Then you will have the option to join us as a group as we attend Fervent together virtually. More information coming about that. Also, we have a special event. The weekend that we would have had our in-person retreat, we're going to be hosting a special event just for our inner circle. So that's another reason to join. In November, we've got a 21-day experience coming. It's 3.0, inner experience, 21-day experience 3.0. And that will also be the month that we have another something special that I'll tell you a little bit more later. And then in December, we have the overflow of content to help you prepare as you end the year from December and kick off January 2021. And also when you're in the group, if you haven't gotten the 90-day planner, you get it free. If you have gotten it before, if you've gotten your first one free, you get your next one at half off. So tons of reasons to join the inner circle. And again, the doors open October the 1st. Okay. Podcast, y'all. I talked to David Taylor. I actually talked to a whole live priest last week. It was fun. And we talked about the Psalms and how the Psalms can be used for prayer. Today, I'll be pushing live a podcast by Allie Worthington. Y'all, her book goes live tomorrow. So if you love Allie and want to know more about her book, then please check out the podcast. You'll know when it goes live because I will email you. And she is talking about what it means to stand strong. But her pre-order bonuses, y'all, Allie has these courses and they're not cheap. And so the good thing is when Allie releases a book, she does all kinds of fun things to give away stuff that normally is not free at all. So if you know Allie and you want to know more about her, then be sure to check out your emails when I send them later today. All right, y'all, let's talk about Detangling the Mess. And I have, if you go on if you search for Crystal Hurst and then a hashtag Hair Chronicles, you'll see things on Instagram pop up. There are a couple of blog posts too. If you go to my website, if you want to know more about what I say about hair, which isn't a whole lot, but it's enough for you to get the gist. I'm always in a battle with my hair because y'all listen, I understand that, let me digress for just a second because y'all are killing me in the comments with all of these meal things, baked chicken, green beans, potatoes. I had bread the whole weekend. She said, I had bread the whole weekend because I wasn't about that life. Oh my gosh. Listen, stovetop chicken with onions and green peppers and salad. Oh, y'all are not playing. Homemade keto chocolate cupcakes, chicken salad chick. So good. Fish fries, garlic bread, seafood salad. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Vegan pasta with vegetables. All right. Homemade chicken enchiladas. Wonderful. Turkey wings, gravy potato salad, green salad with lobster, rice, red beans. Okay. This girl said, OMG, I had this amazing, let me put her on the screen. I had this amazing chicken wing platter with mac and cheese, cabbage from Franny Nick's. The batter on this chicken was amazing. I feel like you're reliving this, like literally as I'm reading this. Y'all are not playing with your Saturday food. Okay, so Rhonda Matlock said, I hadn't done a comfort meal in a long time. So I had a pot roast with potatoes and carrots, cabbage, and cornbread. No dessert, though. Oh, thank you, Suzanne. She said, you were our favorite speaker in San Antonio. I'm glad you were there. Okay, y'all, let's see. Let me see if there's anybody else I can grab right quick that's saying something good about what they had this weekend. Oh my goodness, no face, but she said, I love my pizza. Oh my goodness. Okay, listen, y'all. I'm so glad that you all had good weekends and that you ate good food because it is what it is: grilled salmon, seafood pasta, all the things. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Hey, Dana. Birthday cake. Was it your birthday this weekend? Did I not know it was your birthday this weekend? Girl, I hope I didn't miss your birthday. Okay, so let's talk about detangling the mess a little bit because y'all know that if you may not know, if this is your first time, if it's your first time in the comments, give me a thumbs up because I'd love to know that you're here. And this is me coming on just to encourage you in my closet because I don't yet have a space together where I feel comfortable showing y'all the house. So if it's going to be a mess, I might as well be where it's supposed to be, a mess, in my closet. So, y'all, so hair, like right now, it's in a bun. I don't even know if you can see that. Nope, you can't. It's in a bun. I went and got it straightened. It'd been a while since I've had it straightened because COVID. And I've been walking around here. Oh, look at all these newbies. I've been walking around here just trying to keep it contained, basically. And y'all, the longer I wait to do something with my hair, the more tangled it gets. It just becomes this never ending story, this prophecy that is yet to come, that eventually I'm going to have to deal with it. And I don't want to deal with it. I don't enjoy dealing with it. It's like a whole act of God to do it. And my hair is not horrible. It's just that once it gets tangled, the amount of time it takes me to detangle my hair is redonkulous. And then my arms hurt from hanging from having my hands behind my head. It's just a whole workout to do it and not rip my hair out. And trust me, I have thought long and hard about ripping my hair out. I've thought about taking some scissors and just cutting it off. Okay. Okay. So I've thought about it. And there's only been once in my life where I've cut my hair off. I actually had it really short on the top, shaved in the back. And that was my little opportunity to do that. And here's what I learned. I learned that sometimes short hair can be more work than longer hair because at least with longer hair, I can put it in a bun. So I've been thinking about it, y'all. I just want to wake up in the morning and not think about my hair. So I went and I had passion twist put in and I wore that. But as soon as the twist went in, as soon as those braids went in, y'all, as soon as they did and I got it from the chair, I was like, oh, this is why every time I put the stuff in, I'm happy and I'm mad. Because I'm happy because I don't have to do my hair. I don't have to do my hair. But at the same time, there's too much hair on my head. And it's the summer and it's hot. So, then I'm feeling that hair on my head and then I don't, it's just too much. And then it's too much hair to put up in a bun. And so I just was like, I had it in, I think for a month, but as soon as I got up out of the chair, I was like, I can't, I'm going to take this out. And then I didn't take it out because I'd paid for it. So I was like, and I didn't have time. Honestly, we went straight into the recording of Desperate for Jesus. And, I didn't have time. I had gotten them done for Desperate for Jesus. So the beauty of having braids or twists or something like that in your hair is you don't have to do it. The problem is that it's on your head. So I can twist my own hair up, but twisting my own hair up takes, it takes time. And then once it's in there, I can leave my hair twisted for 3 weeks or so, but then it starts getting tangled. It's this whole, I feel like it's a cycle. I feel like it's a cycle of like your hair, love your hair, do something different with your hair because you're tired of your hair. Oh my gosh, I want to cut my hair. Okay, I'm not going to. I'm going to detangle my hair. And then it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And I hear lots of you saying that you want to lock your hair. I have a cousin actually who has had locks for years and she loves them, except then all of a sudden she didn't. And she was faced with the choice of cutting her locks off or detangling them, like taking them out. And oh my gosh, she took them out. but it was a whole long thing to take them out. And I've seen, someone say, remember winter is coming and you'll miss it. Um, I've seen people who have locks, love them, love them, love them. But listen, y'all, listen. She had the kind of locks that you could take out. Like they were thick enough to take out. Sister locks, the ones that are super, super thin. I think I would love them initially, but I think I get bored. I think that's the problem. So for me to do anything that's semi-permanent means I also have to be committed, if that thing doesn't work, to cut it off. Okay, to cut it off. And the other part of it is, I've seen people's locks sometimes, and let's just put it this way. The feeling when I feel some people's locks, some, not all, some, if my hair is going to feel like that, I'm not going to enjoy that either. If it's that scratchy feeling, I'm not going to want to deal with that. I'm not going to want to feel it. Okay. So at some point, I either need to do what I'm going to do with my natural hair or decide I'm going to keep straightening it. But the problem is my hair straightens really, really well. During the summer, though, that don't matter. If I'm working out, that don't matter. So then I get into this cycle of I got it straight. I mean, it's a whole thing. But here's the bottom line, because y'all are voting to the max in the comments. Here's the bottom line. Okay. If I'm going to change my hairstyle every now and then, I'm going to have to detangle the mess. So when you want to detangle the mess, you have two choices to make. You can take your time, do it right, preserve your hair, and not rip it out from being too anxious and going too fast. Or you can decide it's not worth it. I mean, y'all are giving me hair tips to the most. It's not worth it. You just whack it. Just whack-a-mole. You just cut it out. So those are your two choices. You're either going to take your time. Even my cousin who took her locks out, she had a choice. She could just cut it off, or she could take her time, and it took her days and days and days to slowly unlock her hair. Okay? All right. You have the choice. So let's talk about when you want to detangle versus when you want to whack it off. But now I'm talking about life. Now I'm talking about life. And somebody asked me to put this back up, so I'm going to put this back up. They're like, now what? How do I get in the inner circle? crystalevanshurst.com/inner circle. Go ahead, Joel. You can stick your head in. Go ahead. Say good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. Have you done your personal care?
Mm-hmm.
All the way?
Mm-hmm.
Everything on the list?
Mm-hmm.
Every single thing on the list?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Start working on your words. 6 to 8 sentences. Okay. All right. Oh, but Dade, I totally did. You said you can pay somebody to detangle your hair. I sure did. I called my niece and I said, Niecey Poo, come on. I got a little freck for you. That's what my mother used to call it, a freck. And I sat there and I was supposed to be working, but then I watched the home edit. Anyway, that was great. And she did it. She did it for me. Okay. So anyway, here's my problem. When you decide to detangle it or cut it off, you can take your time and do it, or you can cut it off. And here's why in life you want to take your time to detangle, or you just want to cut it off. If it is more trouble than it's worth, you cut it off. If it is doing more damage than good, you cut it off. If you don't have the time to fool with it, you cut it off. If it is taking time away from things that really matter more, you cut it off. But I'm not talking about your hair. I'm talking about that habit. I'm talking about that relationship. If it is doing more damage than good, you don't detangle it. You don't spend time with it. You don't nurse it. You don't coddle it. You get rid of it. There are some times in life, y'all, where we are taking the time to be detangled, or we are taking the time to detangle, and we are wasting time on something that is not more does not giving us more than it is taking away. And some of y'all need to look at relationships, engagements, your credit cards, your habits and just say, I can't fool with it. I can't fool with it. I can't, I, I'm trying to figure out how to live with this thing. And the reality is, this thing is not giving me anything necessary for me to actually live my life well. It's not worth the drama. You have to decide. Now, so when I detangle my hair, I have to do it in stages. If I'm going to wash my hair, I want to do it in stages. And so I'm going to wash my hair, then I'm going to put a conditioner on it, let it sit forever. Because if I try to do it from the hilt to the tilt, from the beginning to the end, from the hooey to the patootie, it's going to be like a whole 3 hour situation. Some of y'all remember, some of y'all black girls, remember your Saturday hair. It was just a whole situation. Okay. Mackenzie, the same girl who told us about Barris in Waco when I had all the cheese, y'all. She's my sister of a lighter hue, the girl who works on my team. So I had to tell her one day, I was walking back and forth in the house, and I just walked in here and said, oh, and she just looked like this. And I said, girl, if nobody ever told you, black hair is a whole situation. Like, it's welcome to black hair. It's not, I love it. I love how versatile it is. I love all the things about it. It just takes time. It just takes time. She just was looking like, I said, welcome. I'm going to introduce you. And so the thing is it's not that I don't want to take the time with it. It's that I have to make the time for it, because on a Saturday, 3 hours is not what I want to do. And then good Lord, then you have to check the weather to make sure that before you actually wash it, detangle it, and straighten it, that you're not wasting your time. I mean, it's a whole thing. Okay, so many of y'all have heard Priscilla talk about her hair, and years ago, she just whacked it off, and then she grew it back, and then it turned into this lioness situation, and so everybody wants to know, what did you do with your hair? What did you do with your hair? What did you do with your hair? And the bottom line is, she took a lot of time taking care of her hair and learning her hair, right? And then she always tells people, look at your baby pictures, because whatever your hair was like then, that's what it's going to be like when you grow it out. And you have to decide if that's really what you want. You can't look at my hair and want my hair. You need to want your hair. Priscilla and I have very, very different hair. I have thick hair, but my strands are very, very thin. I have very, very soft, curly hair. Like y'all can see it when I do my little ringlets. But y'all, it gets dry really fast and it gets tangled really fast. Priscilla's is long and she is ridiculously tender-headed. And so she had to decide, okay, what am I going to do with my hair to be able to manage it? Okay, everybody has to decide for your hair type. Okay, some of y'all white girls, y'all got straight hair. Some of you have curly hair. Some of y'all have oily hair. Some of us black girls, we got 4C, 3C, 7C, 97C, 97A. I mean, we got all these different things, okay? Now, when you decide to detangle it, though, you have to go in knowing it's going to take some time. And certain things are worth taking your time. Certain things you cut off in life. Certain things you take your time to work through. You work through the trauma. You work through the relationship with your children. You work through the relationships that you have with your family members if they're not toxic. You work through the challenges that you're having with the coworker on the job if you want to keep your job. You work through the chaos in your home. Now listen, y'all, in this move, I could have cut off the mess, or I could have detangled the mess. See, some of y'all know you just get fed up and you need to clean up a room in your house, or in my case, I was moving. And so you just go through, and if it don't come with you, it just goes in the trash. My friend Michelle is like that. She literally, when she has been a traveling nurse and she's moved from place to place, she takes the basic things with her and everything else goes in the trash. It just goes in the trash. And I'm just awed by her ability to just throw stuff away. And she's like, it's not worth it. I don't want to lug it. It doesn't fit in my car. I have to make big, major decisions because I can't carry all this. That's the decision she would make every time she moved. And then there is me, who is still taking my time, getting out of that other house. Because here's the deal. I don't want to realize that I have thrown something away that has value. Thrown something away that has value. So I was going through books, you all, some of my children's books. And I know there was a book I picked up and I was going to throw it away. I was like, we haven't read this in a long time. I don't need this. But I've been taking my time. I opened up the book and realized that written in my mother's handwriting was, happy first birthday, Trey. Love you, Poppy and Nani. So for me, taking my time, going through the mess and detangling it, what's worth keeping, what's not worth keeping. Where does this part belong to this thing? I think in the move, I'll find this thing. Taking my time is worth it. Can you not do that, sir?
Wait, am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to pick one? Pick one?
Pick one of the quotes, and we decided which quote last night.
Oh, I thought it said two.
No, it says two instances. So you have to find two instances and just write. I promise you, if you would just go do your 6 to 8 sentences, you will be all right with me. I love you. You just wanted to come back and interrupt me. Yes, you did. Go. You're talking back.
So just one.
Be quiet.
Just one?
6 to 8 sentences.
For
Bye bye. Okay. Okay, so I'm back, but somebody said no sound. I want to make sure y'all can hear me okay. Okay, so I've been taking my time going through it. Okay, so you either cut it off and say it's not worth it, or you detangle it and take your time because it is. Whether or not it's worth it, you have to decide that. Okay, sometimes you need somebody outside of you to tell you, okay, whether or not it's worth it. You need counsel. Do I stay in this marriage? You need counsel. Is this relationship toxic or is it worth saving? You need counsel. Should I keep this job? Is this wisdom to stay where I am? Or do I need to cut this thing off and move on? Sometimes you just walk out and sometimes you stay and you hang in there. Okay. But you need to know mess is mess. Mess is mess, which means getting out of it is going to be a mess. When you cut it off, initially it's a mess. When my sister cut her hair off, years later, she came over. And when she came over, when she cut her hair off, my husband was like, "Oh, that's so beautiful. You look so great. Look at that. Oh, look at your hair." He closed the door and he said, "Woo, that's a mess." And years later, he told her that. Sometimes when you cut your hair off, and everybody will tell you this, when you decide to just cut your hair off, you have to learn how to live with that. And initially, it's a little bit of a mess. You got to find new products, you got to find a new routine, you got to do other things, right? Okay, and the same thing when you try. When I first got those twists in, it was a mess. I was like, "This is too heavy. My head hurts. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to." And you have to work through it. There's a little bit, no matter what you choose to do, whether you decide to cut that person off, cut that situation off, cut that habit off for a minute, it's a little bit of a mess. Let me tell you about juicing. I'm gonna get some kale today. A head of kale, some celery, lemon, and half of a green apple. That's my green juice of choice, often. And I haven't had it in a while. I haven't done a lot of things in a while. I'm trying to get back to my norm. But y'all, let me tell you something. The first time you juice, like if you go on a 3-day juice or a master cleanse, and I'm not talking about a sugary juice, I'm talking about green, a vegetable juice, okay? You'll feel great the first day or so. Second day, you're going to start feeling a little funny. Third day, you're going to have a headache out of this world and you're going to want to chop everybody's head off with your tongue. And then around day 4, you start to feel like yourself and actually a better version of yourself. Okay, so initially when you decide to fast, this is what I'm talking about. Initially, when you decide to fast, you have that initial shock. Okay, I tried something new. And then you have a minute where this is a mess. You're hungry, your head hurts, you're not sure if you feel right. And then you realize that it was a really good thing to do, right? But you have to get to that point. No matter what you decide to do, whether you cut your diet and fast or whether you eat and change things in moderation, both ways will get you to a great goal. It's just a matter of which way is the best way for you. Now I have to tell you, everybody's always telling me with losing weight, it's moderation, girl, it's moderation, it's moderation. I need to cut it off and then work my way back to moderation. Because I don't do well with that. I just don't. And so you have to know. You have to know what works best for you. And that may need outside counsel. So this is not the message that says today, ladies, go leave your man today. Now, if you're not married and he cheated on you and y'all have been in and out and he's not serious and you've been dating him for 7 years and he still hasn't asked you to marry him, you might need to go on and cut that man off. Just he's not that into you. Isn't that a book? He's not that into you. Or a movie. But there are other things you take your time with because they're worth it in the long haul. They're worth it. So let me talk to you a little bit about detangling the mess, okay? This so connects with my real life. So first of all, you need to evaluate the mess. Take a look at the mess and be honest about it. Has this relationship been the same drama over and over again? Has it been a cycle? And you really know deep down it's not worth it. Okay? And are the people in your life telling you you need to cut that off? You need to cut it off. If the people that love Jesus and love you are saying, ma'am, and you know deep down, what are you waiting on? Be honest about the damage. Evaluate it. Don't procrastinate it. Once you evaluate it once and you have an answer, don't keep going back and changing your mind and being inconsistent. Do the thing. Because if you ignore it and pretend like it's not happening, it won't go away. It'll just continue to waste more of your time. Okay. And the longer you stay with something that is a mess, the more and more you will be detangled. The worse it's going to get. There is a point at which I start knowing, I feel it in my hair when it's natural, when it's in its naturally curly state. I need to wash it. I need to wash it. It's about time to detangle this. And if I wait too long, the mess only gets worse. There are some of y'all who can attest. And if you can attest to this, go ahead and raise your hand. You can attest that there was a mess in your life you finally detangled yourself from. And by the time you detangled yourself from it, you realized I waited too long. And I can't believe I wasted 10 years of my life in that situation, at that job, with that habit, in that relationship. I wasted. See, look at the hands going up. Now, if you're a millennial, give me a fist bump. Right here. If you are under the age of 40, give me a fist bump, because I want to see how many of you millennials are paying attention to all these hands that are going up for all these wasted years. Okay? All of these wasted years. There you go. I see you, Ive Wethington. I see you. So millennials are giving me fist bump, Alexina. And if you wasted some time, put your hand up. Girl Mel, I see you, millennial. I see you, Allie. Listen, y'all are coming on here, and the blessing is that you are listening to wisdom. Now, the responsibility comes in is, are you going to do something with what you heard? So some of y'all millennials right now are wasting time, and you know it. You're wasting time with wrong friends. You're wasting time with wrong jobs. You're wasting time because you should have gone back to school 3 years ago and you didn't. You're just killing time. You're wasting money. You are not willing to get rid of the things that are in your life that are going to waste time, and you don't have time to waste. Jacqueline said, I'm a millennial who also put my hand up. See, y'all are helping each other. I'm just here facilitating the conversation. I don't want you to be in a knot. I don't want you to be in a knot. And I don't want it to be so knotted. Yes, Miss Nina, it's not worth the pain in the long run. It's just not. Get out. Or choose to detangle. So make that decision. I've either got to deal with this, have the conversation. I've either got to talk to my boss, practice what I'm going to say. I'm either going to have to tell my coworker, not today. I'm not doing that today. Boundary line. And listen, there are some things, y'all, that are not horrible. They're not horrible. Hi, Miss Ruth Griffin. They're not horrible. You just have to speak up, or else they will be, right? I mean, and these can be lighthearted too. I looked at my boys and I said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I've waited so long to teach y'all how to clean. Y'all had sisters. And that made me lazy with teaching y'all. So guess what I'm about to do? I'm about to teach y'all how to clean. How can I help you, sir?
Frozen waffles.
Is that what y'all want?
I want it.
If your brothers want that too, that's fine. You know, today's Monday. It's supposed to be oatmeal.
I know.
Y'all can have that, but then you have to have fruit.
Okay.
Cut up an apple. Each person needs to have half. Save the other half for me. These children. See, what happened is I left my door open. I left my closet door open. So they think that this is a free-for-all. They want frozen waffles. That's not what we do on Mondays. We have oatmeal. So I told my boys, listen, I'm sorry I waited so long to teach you. And it's a mess because boys in a bathroom. And every time I come in the bathroom, it's a disaster. And then I found myself getting upset and frustrated. And I can't believe they're not cleaning up. And this is and then I was like, wait. I can detangle that mess. I can take my time. It's going to take some work. And I'm going to teach them how to clean the bathroom my way. And even they said, Mom, your standards are just ridiculously high. You're just asking us to do the most. I don't care what y'all say. Guess what y'all about to do? Y'all about to do it my way. I'm about to detangle the mess that I've allowed. I've allowed. I'm going to help you be good husbands to your wives one day. I'm going to help you not be nasty. And I'm going to teach you how to clean. Yes, yes, you get down on your hands and knees and you scrub that shower floor. Abso-doggone-lutely. Yes, no, we don't just wipe the top of the toilet seat. You lift up the thing and then you wipe down the bowl, the inside and the outside. You get down at the base. Yes, you clean the lid. Abso-doggone-lutely. This is how it is when you use a bathroom and waste comes out of your body. You have to clean that. Y'all, it was a mess. The first day I walked through here with the little caddy with all the cleaning products, and they were whining and complaining, and I'm still not done. And this is, Mom, you're just too specific. You're just being too pretty. It was all this mess. Guess what? I didn't care. I was like, no, 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 no. I'm going to teach you how to detangle the mess that I've allowed. Some of you don't need to cut the mess off. Literally, it's evaluating whether that relationship is one to cut off or whether it's worth detangling. But I want to tell you, when the detangling process is not neat, because you have to teach hair that has chosen its own path how to go the way that you're telling it to go. You have to teach that boyfriend or that husband or that boss or that coworker, that friend, that sister-in-law, the mother-in-law, the mother, the neighbor, how all this time you've allowed this, and now you're changing the path. So it's going to take a few times of you saying the same thing over and over again. It's going to take a few times of you smiling and saying, I'm so sorry, I can't do that today. Oh, I'm so sorry, boss. Remember how we had that conversation about my need to really, really leave at 5:30? I will get my job done, but I'm going to have to put some boundaries on my work-life balance. You're going to have to teach them a few times, but you evaluate whether or not it's worth it. Don't procrastinate. The longer you wait, the worse it gets. And if you smooth it over, y'all, because I can smooth over a detangle. You understand what I'm saying? I can smooth over a mess that needs to be detangled, and you'll never know that it's a hot mess up underneath. But I'm still delaying the inevitable. And smoothing it over doesn't actually do the work. So once you decide, after you evaluate the mess, that it's worth detangling, then you engage with or embrace the mess. You just say, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I'm going to have to set aside the time to deal with it. When you decide to engage with the mess and embrace the mess and deal with the mess, you have to set aside the time to deal with it. That means you may need to educate yourself. You set aside a time to read the books, Henry Cloud, about boundaries. You set aside the time to go get the counseling so that you know how to respond to that husband who says XYZ, or that coworker, that boss who says XYZ, or you set aside the time to take the class to learn how to untangle the mess of your finances. You set aside the time. You've got to set aside the time to embrace and engage, to learn how to deal with the mess that you're in. If you don't set aside the time, you're going to rush through it. And if you rush through it, you'll leave something damaged. Usually you. I can comb out my hair in 15 minutes, but I'm going to rip a lot of it out in the process if it's a detangled mess. So in order for me to do it correctly, I have to take my time and be willing to use certain tools to get through certain tangles. And then some of those tangles don't need the tools. They need my touch. They need my touch. I got to put down the comb and the brush and take my fingers and work the knot out. When you decide to engage or embrace with the mess, you need to make sure you give yourself enough time, that you're giving yourself enough tools, encouragement, counseling, spiritual mentoring, a pastor's opinion. And then sometimes you need to understand there's no way around it except your touch. And you're going to have to take your time doing this thing. I'm going to tell you something. When you detangle, you're going to lose something, right? Anytime you brush your hair really hard, comb it out when it's detangled, when it needs to be tangled, or when it needs to be detangled, you're going to lose a little bit of hair. But it's not going to be as much as if you rip it out unwisely or if you cut it off. So you have to decide. Evaluate the mess. Is it worth detangling or cutting off? You need to know the difference. The Bible says if your right arm is offending you, cut it off. Okay. And then sometimes you detangle it. Jesus detangled a lot of relationships. You do realize that, don't you? Peter, who denied him 3 times, he said, I'm still here for you. You denied me, but I'm not cutting you off. Sometimes you stay, sometimes you go. Evaluate the mess. Engage with the mess with your tools, your time, and your touch. The last thing is you sometimes need to eliminate it. Okay. Now, sometimes, y'all, like right now, it's not beautiful because it was hot outside, but it's straightened. There are no tangles. I can run my hands through it. I can feel my scalp. I can brush it with no issue. This is just I'm about to start my day as a school mommy hairstyle, and I don't want to fool with it. I don't want it to be on my neck. And so when I straighten my hair and I take a flat iron to it, for a time, here's what you need me to hear. For a time, the tangles are eliminated. For a time, the tangles are eliminated. And then they come back. Why? Because it is the natural tendency of life to get retangled. If you don't wash your hair, if you're one of my sisters of a lighter hue and you don't wash your hair, every day, every third day, every week, or do something, a no poo poo or something. If you don't do something, for many of you, your hair will get oily, right? And so the thing is you have to regularly do the thing to keep your hair in the state that you want it in. Okay, so for me, I've got to regularly detangle my hair, wash it, do whatever I'm going to do to it, twist it, straighten it, whatever I'm going to do to it to make sure that I'm managing the process. But the process will never be completely eliminated. It's temporarily eliminated because it's going to go back to its natural state. Maintenance required. Yes, Brenda, maintenance required. Absolutely. And no matter who we are in life or what we're doing with our life, maintenance is required. Your relationships need maintenance. Your habits need maintenance. Your diet needs maintenance. Your thinking needs maintenance. Your Bible study needs maintenance. Your relationship with your spouse needs maintenance. Your relationship with your sister needs maintenance. Your relationship in your home, your closet. Good Lord. As soon as I clean it up, there's a basket of clean clothes waiting on me to put it up. It all needs maintenance. You have to maintain it. So eliminating the mess, you need to understand whatever you do is only temporary, because maintenance is a part of life. So you invest in the maintenance because that's what keeps you healthy. Oh, somebody hear me talking right now? I wash my hair. I comb it out. I detangle it. I decide if I'm going to twist it or if I'm going to straighten it. And then that style will last me so long. And then I have to maintain it. Even those of you who have locks, you have to go back up to your lock person and you have to get it relocked. Like, everything requires maintenance. Everything. It doesn't matter. If I go to the dry bar and go get my hair done, y'all, listen, y'all, I went to 3 dry bars one day on my way home. I was out in North Dallas, and on the way home, I stopped by 3 dry bars because I said, I need the name. If I call and make an appointment, y'all gonna tell me that everybody in here can do black hair. That's not true. It's not true. And they won't tell you over the phone. So I stopped by and I looked the receptionist in the face and I said, give me the names of the stylist here who are regularly requested by black women for appointments. I'm not going to put you in a corner and ask you who can do black hair. I need to know which women are regularly requested by women of color for appointments. So I have a list. I probably could sell my list of all the girls' names who work at the dry bars, 4 of them in the DFW area, who can do my hair. But y'all, when I go to the dry bar, if the weather is good, that might last a week and a half before I have to start putting it in a bun again. Okay? And then I got to come home and wash it or twist it or go back to the dry bar or ask one of my niecey poo friends, sister, cousin, girls, my sister-in-law, somebody to help me. So whatever you eliminate, you have to realize it is eliminated for a season and then it will come back. So even if you eliminate that hard relationship, there was something in you that attracted or accepted or toiled with that. And if you're not careful, that's why some of y'all go from one bad relationship to another bad relationship to another bad relationship, because you eliminated one mess, but the cause of the mess came out of you. It came out of you. It came out of you. And so that's why, because see, your hair comes out of you. Whatever you are maintaining or dealing with, if it's coming out of you, do you understand? It's going to keep coming out. It's going to keep coming out. So here's the deal, y'all. Eliminating the mess, that still means there's work to do. It just means you cut it back. Listen, y'all. I have a yard. I'm so excited we have a yard. Y'all already heard me talk to you about the tree a few weeks ago, which we still haven't had to cut down. But that's a whole nother story for another day. We haven't had to because, well, it's still there. We are just not being currently required to cut it down for a reason. But that's a whole, I need to save that for another illustration. But I have a yard. Y'all, we have not been taking care of a yard for a really long time, for about 10 years. And so I have somebody that's cutting the yard. Y'all, the yard is beautiful. But you want to tell me what I'm lamenting? I'm lamenting the fact that I have to have them come cut this yard every other week. It's beautiful, but it grows. It grows because it's alive. So even when you nail one mess, can I just tell you that another mess will come up in its place? So what I'm talking to you about today, which is detangling the mess, is a life skill. Because whatever you learn about getting yourself out of a detangled mess, you can apply to whatever the next mess is that you run into. And if you're still alive, it will grow. You don't have to be looking for a mess. It will grow. You don't have to be hunting out down a mess. It will grow. You don't have to be yielding to a mess. It's just going to come up. And even when what comes up is beautiful, it has to be maintained. And then every now and then in the beautiful thing, you're going to find some weeds that need to be pulled, some other things that need to be taken care of. But here's the beautiful thing. If you are facing a mess, give thanks. Give thanks. Because it gives you an opportunity to grow, and it tells you that you're still alive. You know, one of the painful things about losing someone that you love, I had a hard time this weekend with missing my mom for a variety of reasons. I kept running into things, and grief just comes on you. And but there's a saying: it's better to have loved and lost than to have never have loved at all. My missing my mother means I had a good mom. Me remembering that I wanted to call her about this and I can't call her means that there were lots of times where I did. Being in her home and missing her presence and missing the ways she would do things around her home, and the diffuser that she would run and the music that she would play and the candles she would burn. It means I have tons of memories with her creating a home environment that made me want to come back over and over and over again. But there's pain with living. There is mess with living. And you just have to be willing to detangle. If you're not willing to invest in the relationship, in the job, in the habit, in your health, in your thinking, in your walk with God, in your faith, in your finances, with those family members. Now, I'm not talking about the ones that need to be cut off or the situations that need to be cut off, but I mean the ones that are hard but are worth the work. You will live and not fully live. There's a beautiful thing to live life when you can draw boundaries that these are relationships worth having, but these are the boundaries that I have to draw. This is a job worth having, but these are the boundaries that I have to draw. This is a marriage worth keeping, but these are the boundaries that I need to draw. These are the children worth loving on, but these are the boundaries that I need to draw. This is the body worth caring for, no matter its size, no matter what it looks like, but these are the boundaries that I have to draw. It is a beautiful thing to decide that the mess that you currently have is worth working with and drawing boundary lines, because you can choose to be alive and detangle it and know that maintaining it is tough, but worth it. Some of y'all can speak to this. The marriages that you never thought you would stay in, you decided to do the work, and you're so glad you did. Some of y'all can attest to the other. The marriage that you knew was not worth the work, but you stayed in it anyway. You didn't work on it, but you also didn't cut it off, and you wasted time. Evaluate the mess. And I encourage you to have counsel in your life, because I see some of your questions, and some of the questions are so very specific. And somebody that loves Jesus and loves you needs to give you wisdom. And in the counsel, in the counsel of many, right? The Bible says there's wisdom to have the counsel of many. So ask 2 or 3 people who are further down the road from you, who love Jesus and have good marriages, or who love Jesus and have lived successfully single, or who have loved Jesus and are not in debt, who love Jesus and have great relationships. Ask those people. Y'all, I literally called a woman from my church. They own a business they have for years. And I said, I need to ask you some questions about being a wife and a mom and a grandmother, and managing a business and having people who work for you and managing your time. I said, I really, really admire how you take care of your home. She loves to cook for her family, but how you are about business. You're about business, and y'all are very, very successful. And I just need to talk to somebody who's living my life, like who actually has children at home. She has grandchildren that she's raising, who has children at home, and who is managing a major business, who's growing it, who's married, who's successfully married. Like, can you walk me through some things I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around? And y'all, she let me Zoom her, and we talked for 90 minutes. And most of it was just me rambling. And then it was some wise counsel. Wise counsel. So, some of y'all are saying you can't hear me, but some of you obviously can. So I'm not sure what to say about this. Okay. So, yes, get counsel, and then decide if it's worth it, and then be willing to do the work. Engage with the mess, and then eliminate it. You get to choose. This is the beautiful thing. You get to choose whether or not you deal with the mess, whether or not you cut it off, whether or not you detangle it. And here's the thing. No guilt. No guilt, no shame, no judgment. But make a decision. Choose. Don't sit there somewhere in between. I don't know, minute. Don't sit there. Decide, I'm cutting this off, or I'm going to detangle it. Now, you don't have to tell me what it is, but before we roll up out from today, I want you to type that word, one of those 2 words, in the comment. Okay? Detangle, detach. Okay, I'm going to detangle. I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to detach. You know what you're talking about. You know if it's your job. You know if it's a relationship. You know if it's a habit. You know whatever it is. Tell me. Detangle, detach. What are you doing? Okay, Christina is detangling. Lapri is detangling. Lizetta is detangling. So glad you asked. Detangling. Yolanda detangling. Okay, here we got some detached. Anita detaching. I'm so Ardria detaching. Latanya detaching. Detangle. Carlene. All right, here we go. 2 Unite Marriages is detangling. Dinah D 81 detaching. Sarah 1908 detaching. Abiding Beverly detaching. Dee Dee Martin is detangling. Okay, this is for you. This is you choosing what you're going to do. Okay. And here's what I want you to do after you type in detach or detangle. Okay. You need to write down somewhere, type it in your phone, call a friend, text a friend, and give them the details. You need to say, I've decided today to detangle myself from, to detach from. I'm going to do the work of embracing with this particular mess and undoing what I have done, or undoing what someone else has done. I'm going to do the work. So you need to tell somebody, this is accountability. Okay. If you're in the inner circle after this is over, y'all jump into the Facebook group on the inner circle. This is the membership. And tell the girls that are also in the inner circle what you're working on. Tell them. If you don't have anybody else to tell, get on Facebook and just tell whoever reads your thing. Just say, y'all, today I'm deciding to detangle or detach from. Okay. You got to tell somebody. And writing it down puts it in the sand, draws a line in the sand, or putting it on your phone. Make a reminder every day. Girl, you are detangling from. Don't forget to detangle from. All right. And I love this. Alicia said, this is really smart, girl. She said, I'm going to detangle first, but if it doesn't work, I'm going to detach. Listen, that's a plan. The bottom line is I want you to come up with a plan that will sustain you in your life because you don't have time to waste. You don't have time. You just don't. You just don't. My mother, she buried her brother years before, of course, she passed away. He was single. The death was unexpected. And she and her siblings went to do the work of settling his estate and cleaning out his apartment. She came back and she said, he wasn't expecting to pass away and everything. She said, I don't want to leave y'all in a mess like that. When it comes to be my time, I don't want to leave y'all in a mess like that. And for the next few years, she systematically and consistently decluttered her home. And it wasn't cluttered to begin with. It's just, you live 50 years with somebody, you raise 4 kids, you keep all their stuff. There's a lot of stuff in the house. And little by little, she decluttered. When my mother passed away, things were in order. We could find what we needed. She left things neat because she knew that she wasn't going to be here always. And she took her time, but she worked her way through it. And it was a blessing to her and a gift to her to give things away, to give things to us while she was living, to see us enjoy them. It was also a blessing to us because she passed along the gift of less mess. And when you choose to deal with your mess, it will bless you to systematically rid yourself of the things in life that are slowly stealing your life. It also blesses other people because you can't give them what you don't have. If you don't want to pass on your mess to your friends, to your children, to your people, it's worth the work of detangling or detaching so you don't pass on the mess that you didn't deal with. And if you don't deal with it, you will pass it on. You just will. So anyway, that's my words for this morning. Don't forget, grab your book, crystalevanshurst.com/pray. Don't forget, join the inner circle. And all the levels will open up on October the 1st, crystalevanshurst.com/inner circle. Don't forget to join my email list, crystalevanshurst.com. And if this video has blessed you today, please share it. That's the way people find out about it. All right, y'all. Have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.